the next pillar, which is state. So state is another important aspect in our life. For example, you would see that when you go home with some a bad meeting, or you had some fight or whatever, like some stressful situation, you get home, go to home, you will have some expectations at home. Oh, my father came, papa aa gaye, and then they try to get that expectations met, but you're not in mood because you've carried some baggage of stress to home. So what would be your situation? Just think about it. So you would say, I'm not in a mood today, please don't disturb me, right? It's nothing unusual, right? It's common. It basically happens when we have that baggage, when we carry that and we go in the same state. So state is basically the overall emotional and psychological condition that we basically have at a particular moment, and triggers will change the state. Like for example, we were in the normal state, and the moment we thought about the mango, we were able to change the state and we got into the state of happiness. And in the inner ink, the moment we started thinking about a stressful situation, we started getting negative things and we got into a negative state. So that is the basic concept of states. So there are two types of states: resourceful and resourceful. So resourceful state is like confident, being calm, right? After our breathing exercise, we were calm. So that's a positive state, a resourceful state. So in calmness, you can do a lot of activity without much of disturbance. Do you agree? Right? So being grateful, being joyful, these are all the resourceful states. Some examples. And then unresourceful could be jealousy, being jealous, being angry with someone, or fear. Fear is also a state which is unresourceful, because when you're in fear, again, you tend to get anxious, right? So that's the basic concept. Being lonely, confused. So these are some of the unresourceful states that are there in our day-to-day lives. So we need to basically learn the habit of switching the state, changing the state. How do you do that? There is a simple strategy. For example, many times have you people observed, like when you're having a lot of tension, etc., just a power nap of 10 minutes will give you a recharge. Have you observed that, or have you experienced, right? Or you're in some bad state and you got a call from your college friend or your old pal, and you started talking something really interesting or something good memories, and shift in the state. And sometimes your body language, when you're in negative state, you observe that you will be just closed. The moment you get into a positive state, your body language changes, your chest enlarges, for example. So that's a simple example of being in a positive state. So now let us do another fun activity, which is called as two views. So in the state, you can be associated. So many times you see people saying that you are glued to the television. I came here, I talked to you, I told whether you will have your lunch or not, but you did not respond at all. Have you seen this kind of behavior, right? So that's basically a state called as associated state. And when you just step back, it is disassociated. You zoom out like a camera, right? You zoom out, it is like you're seeing something from a distance, and that is called as disassociation. All right. So in order to understand this better, let's quickly do a quick activity. All right. Again, this will be even more fun. Okay. So let's sit comfortably. Okay. Let me take you to some trek now. Okay. All right. Close your eyes. And take 3 deep breaths. Normal breathing. Just inhale deeply and exhale deeply. One more time. Inhale deeply and exhale deeply. Just imagine you're on a trek, okay? And you're walking and you're seeing the greenery around. You're on the top of the mountain, and then you see the greeneries around. You have a couple of your friends with you, and The other friend is wearing a new pair of jeans that he purchased a few days back, and he's telling that it's very comfortable for the trek. And then people are walking around and you're hearing the birds chirping, and you see a mild sunshine, and it is pleasant. It is not so very harsh as well, because it's almost around 4:30 in the evening, and you're also getting a wind chill, and you're having the wind blowing and touching you, and you're enjoying that moment. And now you get into a cliff, and you see that there is a hanging bridge in front of you, and you have 4 friends along with you. All of you have to cross that bridge to reach your destination for the evening. And you also notice that yes, it is about 100 meters long, not that bad, but between 2 small mountains you have this particular bridge, and you see a deep valley, and that basically gives you some kind of butterflies in your stomach. Oh, I've never been on such a plane, and what happens if there is some problem with the bridge? What happens if it's not able to withstand my weight? Is the bridge strong enough? You start getting anxious. You start questioning, what if I do walk and I'm having some problem? Should I go first? Or I will wait for other people to go and then I'll go last? Then again comes another question, pops up. What if I go at the last and then something happens? So all these things brings you in a state of anxiety, and stress begins to develop, and you're thinking, Arey Baba, is there any other path? I don't want to cross this bridge. Is there any other way? And your friends say no way, and you have to reach the destination by evening before it gets dark, and you have no choice. So you are in this particular state. So now what you do? You slowly come out of your body and imagine you are on a drone, and the drone is just moving away from that particular bridge, and you're zooming out. As you're zooming out, you're seeing that the entire bridge is visible. Your 4 friends, including you, are standing there, and now you're going out, and then you see yourself crossing the bridge, and you see a small, tiny version of you crossing the bridge, and you took the courage to go first, and you are able to cross it. And slowly you are waiting for your friends to come onto your side, and there you go. The second friend came in, the third one, and the last one came in, and all of you are there, reaching your destination successfully, safely that evening. And you start walking down to your destination, your guest house where you have booked the accommodation. As you live with that experience, you slowly open your eyes. It was just an imagination. So just an imagination. Brain does not know the difference between real and virtual. So just you imagine yourself in that state of stressful situation, you get into serious trouble. The moment you start zooming out and seeing yourself doing that activity from a distance, it mellows down. So this is a very powerful activity for changing the state. So when you're in associated state, lot of you're having the mental clutter, mental tension, and the state of fear is there instilled. And the moment you step out, what is known as disassociation. So you disassociate yourself from that situation. So that's a basic concept of changing the state. So whenever you're in a resourceful state, for example, you want to experience much better, you can associate, you can zoom in, right? Or whenever you're in an unresourceful state and you want to just step out, right? Do practice disassociation. So these two are very powerful techniques. So where you can apply, say for example, you want to give a lecture or you have to give a presentation, all right? And you will be having anxiety, or you have to take a public meeting, you have to face the public. So you will be having some butterflies in your stomach, right? So what you can do, mentally rehearse, getting associated. I walked into the presentation, I did the presentation wonderfully, I am seeing all my heads sitting in the room and they all are liking my presentation. I did this, I did this, I did this. You start visualizing, and that's a very, very powerful technique to change the state, be in the particular state, and the moment you do that, you can manifest the same thing happening.